Hey all, welcome to Monday. Welcome to Countdown Day. And this topic was suggested by our buddy Matt. And this is the top 10 versions of Springer. Wasn't even sure that there was going to be 10. This includes everything. It could have been a vote based on his characterization. It could have been a vote based on a specific mold. It could have been official. It could have been third party. Any way you cut it, if you don't have a Springer and you're wondering kind of where to go and what to get, this list might be for you. Top 10 versions of Springer as voted on by fans. This time around in the latest GotBot Counts Down. Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe. And while you are at it, light them up, baby. Hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton and lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that's in the description down below. Also in the description down below. And if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through Spring. Or, of course, hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. So this is the top 10 versions of Springer. We have done versions of other characters before, but most of them are known to have lots of versions that exist, whether in fiction or in plastic or both. Springer is one that is so well known and usually considered a top tier character, but surprisingly we haven't seen him as often as you might expect. So, fans voted. This was really interesting. And we have 4 honorable mentions. They include, and I love this one, the robot hero Earwolf. I'm pretty sure that that one is a third-party MP scaled one. I've seen it. It looks fantastic. If you haven't seen it, look up Springer Earwolf. It's tremendous. I love that this one had votes. The Revenge of the Fallen. I think it's a Legends class. Now, there was also some concept art for Revenge of the Fallen Springer. Pretty much, though, he's a green guy, I think, that turns into, I want to say just a plane. I think it's a plane, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Open and plays Big Spring for its time when it came out. A lot of people got it right away and said, it's the size of MP, but what they didn't like is they said it's not the complexity and the quality of MP. But a lot of people say, hey, it's still fun and still functional. And Unique Toys Alan. I forgot that that thing even existed, but I love Unique Toys. I almost got Alan back in the day, but he was just too big for my personal collection. So, Robot Heroes, Earwolf, Revenge of the Fallen, Open and Plays Big Spring, and Unique Toys Alan. They all had votes, but they did not rank on the list. Who did? What did? You know how this goes. You know what we're going to do. We're going to kick things off with number 10, my friends. First. Coming in at number 10, we have a fictional version rather than a plastic version, and it's this. That's right, IDW Springer. And I don't know the character that well there. I know that his first appearance is in Stormbringer 2. I know that he is the leader of the Wreckers there, and I know he's considered to be very, I don't know if honorable is the word, but like he's considered to be super loyal. He's considered to be like, he got your back. He will go above and beyond, sometimes to dangerous extremes that he probably shouldn't do. Well regarded as extremely heroic. I understand why people are drawn to this characterization of Springer. Not to mention he is kind of tall, kind of slender, but still has a kind of robust, heroic, strong look to him. Yes, IDW's version of Springer spoke to a lot of fans, enough that he was able to take the number 10 slot. Coming in at number 9, we stick with G1 and this. The G1 toy version of Springer. And the reasoning is very simplistic. Those that voted for him said the exact same thing. It's the first Springer. It's what originated the character in plastic. It was and still is the first measuring stick for Springer. I get it. He came first, and it was a long time before we got updates to the character. And for a lot of people, for a lot of years, this G1 version, as blocky and chunky as it is, was the measuring stick. And a lot of people say, look, we get that he has the limits of G1, but you know what? there's still something really charming about it. And while the robot is a honk and chunk, a lot of people say that they really like the vehicle mode and they really like the helicopter mode. Who am I to argue? Yeah, G1 toy iteration of Springer takes the number 9 slot. Coming in at number 8, we go to one of my favorite companies with MMC and this guy. That's right, it is Saltus. Is it Saltus? Hold on, I got it written down here. I got to make sure that I'm saying this right, because you know what, he deserves it. Yeah, Saltus. Right? Yeah, Saltus. Saltus? S-A-L-T-U-S? Man. Either way, it's MMC's Ocular Max version of Springer. He stands about 9.5 inches or so. I'm pretty sure he's meant to be MP scaled. He is tremendous. Those that voted for him said, look, he has an excellent look. The angle of his chest and his grill is terrific. The shoulders do the fold-out thing while the green still stays to be a deep, robust green. The only kind of criticisms that people kind of levied against it is they said the brow of the head is a little bit off, and some people said that they wish that the yellow of the shoulders and the chest matched better. But they, you know, spoke very highly of the transformation. They spoke very highly of the articulation. I haven't experienced the mold, but I have experienced MMC. Love the company, love their engineering and their ingenuity. I can honestly believe that this is an excellent version of Springer. Fans felt that he was terrific enough that he was able to take the number 8 slot. Coming in at number 7, we stick with MP scale and this company. XTB Virtus, which I guess is a play on vert being green in French, is where I guess the name comes from, but I could be totally wrong about that. So Virtus is a great version of Springer in the MP scale. Those that voted for him said he has great modes and they enjoyed the transformations. Those that kind of critiqued it a little bit said his shoulder chunks are too small, and they felt that the grill came up a bit too much, making the upper part of the chest that's green a little bit too small. I think that's eye of the beholder. Some people said that the like really pale light green, like on the face and thighs, was still a little too dark for their liking. That gotta be up to you. But again, XTB, we all know how XTB is. They usually have excellent looking robots and alt modes. Sometimes the transformation can be a little wonky getting from one to the other. I haven't experienced this mold myself, but I have heard mixed reviews. Those that like this guy tend to really like it, and those that don't tend to really don't. It doesn't seem like there's much of a middle road. But enough fans like this version that it was able to take the number 7 slot. Coming in at number 6, sticking with MP scale, it's this guy. Fans, Toys, Apache, and those that voted for him voted and said, it's Fans Toys. What else do I need to say? Now, I don't like that company personally. I don't enjoy their quality. I don't like the squeaking ratchets. I don't like the transformations. I tried to watch 3 different reviews of this guy. I couldn't get through it because just watching the transformations was painful to me. So it's not for me, but it might be for you, because those that like it say, look, they really do enjoy the transformations and they find that it's easier to go between modes than they expected it to be. Cool, if that's for you. They also said the coloration was perfect. I don't know if I agree with that, because I feel like the light green on his biceps, thighs, and face is still a little bit too dark. But I will admit that the overall silhouette and look of the robot mode is about as perfect and quintessential as you could want. And both alt modes are pulled off quite successfully. Getting between them, just based on what I saw in reviews, looked harsh. But those that have them and love them say, guess what? It's actually not. It's actually pretty smooth. Make of that what you will. Does he fit in your collection? Well, you know what? We have looked at a few MP scaled offerings now. So you're going to have to choose which one works best for you. But enough fans like the Fans Toys Apache version that it was able to take the number 6 slot. And now a hush falls over the crowd because we've reached the ever coveted, ever popular halfway mark. And at the halfway mark, we go to an exclusive, actually, a Wrecker exclusive with this guy. That's right, it is the Wreck and Rule, I guess, I think that's what the line was called, Wreck and Rule version of Siege Springer, adapted here with more green and a gray palette on the shoulders and stuff. Look, bottom line is, this was actually meant to be a modern version of Springer that homages the G1 toy that we talked about earlier. And you know what? What's not to love about it, honestly? The Siege Springer is tremendous. If you are a, toy accurate coloration type of person, like our buddy Input, shout out to Input, then this is probably the version that you would want to have. It's a tremendous mold, functions great, though I have heard that some versions of this particular copy, this particular iteration, this particular coloration, have had a couple of tolerance issues. I don't know how true that is. I don't have this version because I'm not a toy accurate guy. I'm a cartoon accurate guy. But great mold, and why not do it as an homage back to good old G1? Yeah, the Wreck and Rule version of Springer takes the number 5 slot. Coming in at number 4, we have this guy. That's right, it is G1 Cartoon Springer. This one is, again, fiction. And, people that voted for it said the same thing that you would expect them to say over and over and over. He was witty. He was funny. He was sarcastic. He felt real. He felt like a real person. But at the same time, he was brave, he was heroic, and he really threw caution to the wind. But he was also loyal. A lot of the aspects that we see in the IDW version are also here, but with a little more wit, banter, and probably a little more youth to it. A little more youth, right? But I gotta say, my introduction to Springer was the cartoon, and I've loved the guy ever since. Never understood why the G1 had so much gray when the cartoon had so much green. But you know what? That's a gripe for another day. The cartoon iteration of Springer takes the number 4 slot. And now we're into the top 3. And at number 3 we have Siege Springer. And those that voted for him said the exact same thing. This guy was a Voyager in Siege, and other than the shoulders not being able to turn out, and the dark green on the side of the bicep not coming over to the front, this guy's pretty perfect. Some people liked that he had the grime on him because they said it made him feel gritty and real, especially as a wrecker. And some people did like me. They removed the grit and grime off the chest. They painted over the yellow up here. I done it with a saffron yellow because it matches the yellow of his grill. Best bang for your buck, that's what people said. You got all of this for a Voyager price tag. It was, is, and probably ever will be absolutely tremendous. Some people say the ankles are loose. Mine have always been fine. I have never had an issue with this guy standing up. And now that my son has him, again, no issues with him standing up. Yeah, I get it. Best bang for your buck. I totally understand it. If you're looking for a G1 homage, this guy will do it. As for these not folding out, that's a little bit of a bummer, but it's not a big deal. His ability to T-pose isn't perfect, but it's pretty darn close. Siege Springer takes the number 3 slot. But then we get to number 2. And number 2 had a lot of people saying, yeah, the Siege was pretty good, but it ain't no 86. And this is the 86 Springer. Again, the colors have been tweaked, a little bit of remolding, but functionally, it's pretty much the exact same thing. Except they did what I suggested with Siege 6 years ago, which was, why is the tire on the shoulder piece? Put the tire on the bicep, and all you need is a hinge for the shoulder piece. That's exactly what they did. I find the transformation on this one a little more cumbersome than it is with my Siege, to be honest with you. And those that, like this, as I like it, said it's perfect. It's pretty much a perfect mainline G1 Springer. And it also came with the extra sword, and it came with the little missile thing that's used to take out Devastator and whatnot. And all that's cool and all that's grand. Those that chose the Siege over this said, yeah, it's tremendous, but it's not a leader class. If you take away the extra sword, this extra blaster, and the little missile thing, this is 165 grams of plastic. Guess what? The Siege is 165 grams of plastic. This is 170 grams of plastic. The Siege is 165. This is exactly a Voyager. Putting these other bits in brings this up to 190 grams. It's nowhere close to being 325. So this is excellent. This is the last Springer that I think most fans of G1 will ever need for their mainline collection. Was it overpriced? Yes. Is it terrific? Yes. Enough fans said, hey, despite the price, he's so great that they voted for him anyway and landed him at the number 2 spot. And now here we are, very tippy top number one. And number one won by far with 2.5 times more of the votes than Studio Series 86 had. And Studio Series 86 had a lot of support. By far took the lead, ran away with it, never looked back, never gave it up with Thrilling 30 Springer. I have said for years, this is one of the best molds that Hasbro has ever done for a Voyager. And now, here we are, 11 years later, and people still say it's the best Springer we ever had. Those that are IDW fans clearly love this because it's the IDW version. Now, some people said that there are other paint schemes of this that they like better, like the Takara one with the gold, or the one that came in the box set. But even the mainline one matches the comic really well. It's successful in all modes because we have an excellent robot here with tremendous articulation. I mean, look at that T-pose. It came on tab there, my bad. Look at that shoulder out to the side, you know? Look at the leg all the way out and back. And the leg able to T-pose all the way out, or do the splits, I guess. A lot of people said his helicopter, a success. The car mode, an absolute success. It doesn't look like G1, but it certainly looks like the IDW comics. And, not for nothing, it was the first mainline G1-esque triple changing Springer that we had gotten since G1. We got the GDO, but that was only a limited release and only turned into a helicopter. We'd had some versions that sort of loosely fit the bill, but only had one mode. This was a triple changer. This was a Voyager, the scale he should be. This had the green, this had the yellow. It even had a tremendous head sculpt. Excellent Springer then, excellent Springer now. Not for everyone, but clearly by far took the number one slot. And that's it, 10 down to 1. I'm not gonna lie, I honestly thought that 86 was going to win, and it had a ton of support, but Thrilling 30 blew everything else out of the water. Other ones that had votes included the GDO, which is a great mold. I think it was used for Terradive, if I'm not mistaken. Great mold, only turns into a helicopter. It was used for one of the movie ones, I think. I reviewed it a while ago. The Marvel G1 comic book fiction version of Springer, leader of the Wreckers and all of that. The FOC WFC, right, the War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron video game concept art for Springer. The Super Link Sprung. Yeah, what a great fun version. I guess it's Mech Fans Toys Falcon, which is an excellent Springer as well. And I love this, I love this, I love this. Somebody took version to mean mode, and they said, his car, I like his car. Why not? Why not? I counted that vote because I thought it was super duper fun. Which version of Springer is your favorite? Did it make it on the list or not? And if it did make it on the list, where did it rank? I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through Spring, or of course, hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. While you are at it, hit the subscribe button, stick around, have some fun with us here on the channel. And don't forget, not for a moment, not for a second, that you right there, you do make a difference in the world. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres, or the old fashioned way right here inside the videos.